What's up, YouTube, and hello, Salida. I wanted to make this video, on a nicer day. As I shoot this video, I'm leaving tomorrow morning. Outside of that, I wanted to say a big thank you to everyone here in Salida for being a part of what we do here at Advanced Gardening Solutions. And I also wanted to share my own garden with you because if it wasn't for you, none of this would have been possible. In the 6 years that I've been operating Advanced Gardening, I think the number one request that I get for landscaping requires little to no maintenance. And what a lot of people do is just install fabric and rock to the degree that you can see it from outer space. It's great, looks beautiful for a few years, and then things start growing on the fabric. It can be a nightmare. Here in the desert Southwest, water usage is a big deal. Grass is a wonderful thing. You can go out and roll around, have a picnic, smell the fresh cut green grass on a Sunday afternoon, but it takes a lot of water. What we were trying to achieve here is maximum green with minimal water. And also, this garden is set up so that it can be manicured and maintained like a traditional European style garden, or you can just let it go wild and it kind of grows in with a native mountain, native meadow type of feel. So let's check it out, see how it's coming along here. So I'm just gonna start front and center here, and we've got on both sides of the sidewalk here, Jackson and I planted a bunch of daffodil bulbs, and you can see the daffodils come all the way down along and they end here. We put in about 500 of them, and they border the driveway around all the way. So this is the first summer that those are kicking in, so those will get thick as years progress. Here's the dogwood starting to leaf out here. There's some bearded tongue penstemon. That's gonna be Russian sage coming in. Peony. Yeah, the peony's starting to get there. Getting some buds on that guy. Nice. This is the catmint. And catmint, really drought tolerant, really nice mound forming purple flowers, just beautiful. Behind that we've got some coneflower. This guy here, there's a coneflower in there. That's the blue globe. Got some clover in here. It's not showing really well right now because it's kind of rainy and wet. Got some yarrows in there. Those will come in nice. Lamb's ear. Got some lilies coming in there. That one's the autumn joy sedum. Got the blue mist spirea. Some rosy glow barberries. These are creeping phlox. Got some more penstemon. Purple Magnus coneflower. This one's really a special one to me. This here is a ground cover called green carpet. We were working on some stuff with that being a lawn alternative. Shows really good promise. Green carpet. It's a vigorous spreader. Requires little to no water. Blue oats. Gotta have the creeping thyme. Creeping thyme's a great border plant. We've got some columbines coming in here nicely. Over here, silver mounds. Got a lavender that's starting to green up. Jackson's daylilies here. Carpet flower. One of my personal favorites, snow and summer. This is the outer boundary of the garden here. And basically, if you can see kind of what's going on here, you look in the background, you look in the foreground, we've got areas of cut grass and we've got areas of long grass. The long grass is the crested wheatgrass. Now, crested wheatgrass is seemingly showing some really good promise to being our base layer. And what I mean by that is, instead of using weed fabric, we're using crested wheatgrass. Now, crested wheatgrass is a bunch grass, and it will get knee tall, knee height and knee high, and it will tassel out. But down inside the crested wheatgrass, you may have saw this in part 1, but I mean, this stuff is so dominant with its root zone that nothing, literally nothing, can grow in it. I mean, dandelions, my kids run around and blow dandelion seeds everywhere, and they just don't grow in the crested wheat. So, really excited to see how that continues to pan out. The biggest thing with the crested wheat is, if you're establishing new plants, I'll go around and either pull or just use a hand shears to cut the crested wheat around other plantings so they get good sun and that they can come up through the grass. So now back to the grass being cut. Now, what happens when you cut grass here in this climate, if you don't have a sprinkler system, it's going to just brown out and die, or dry out and go dormant. But in this, what we have is a subsurface drip line. So I could try to pan out a little bit, but you can see where the grass is darker and thicker, and it comes around, it goes out here, and it comes in here and goes up into here. And what we have there is a subsurface drip line, and it's designed to be buried below the grade. And so what we've done is we only mow where that subsurface line is. And so we designed this thing to where we have islands of grass that slowly become converted into planting areas, and you plug plantings in there. And the cool part about it is, I think there's a spot, so you can see where we've got some 1/4-inch lines that come and service the different planting areas. But I'm trying to think if I could see, there used to be a spot. So basically what we do is we dig down in the grass and get that subsurface line, and we put a junction there with 2 drip tubes that go off this and the main feeder, and service the different planting areas. There is one over here I can show you. So we've got, once again, we've got a line coming down through here, comes down around, we teed off in there, went around, teed off again. Just kind of make this design to make it interesting. But we have drip lock manifolds, and you can look it up. It's called drip lock. It's a great fitting that works on the 1/2-inch tubing. This is a 1/2-inch drip tubing, the main tubing. Drip lock manifold's got 2 1/4-inch ports, and we just dig down, we find it, and we put those drip tubes that go into the plant areas. So that's kind of what really makes this design unique, is that you get turf grass, which is nice, at least in my opinion, because I like to garden. And when I'm crawling around in the garden, I would rather be crawling around on nice green grass than rocks or mulch, because it just gets displaced and it looks like crap, and then gets embedded in your knees, and it's just no fun. So crawling around in this grass is much more pleasant from a gardener standpoint. But then you say, okay, well, this seems like a lot of work. Well, I enjoy it, but it doesn't have to be a lot of work. So once I put my initial cut on this garden, the mindset here is I can leave this all summer. And what's going to happen is that the grass that's tall is always going to be taller than the grass that's short. And so as this grows all summer, it's June 1st right now, as this goes all summer long, it's going to grow, I wouldn't say perfectly even throughout the whole canvas. There's other places that are going to grow quicker than others, but the general feel is going to be this sense of wave, kind of this wavy, where this grass will grow a little bit taller and it'll kind of blend in with the taller grass. And then, you know, having these ornamental grasses, which have yet to take off, and then some of these other plants in with that grass gives you pops of color and points of interest. And everything kind of blends together. There again, this was inspired by the Dutch Wave Garden, and we're calling it the Rocky Mountain Wave Garden. So I've kind of showed you kind of the basics of how this is put together. You know, subsurface drip line throughout, and then tapping off of that in various areas to also water plantings. And the whole goal with this was to use as little water as possible. So what did we do? We incorporated this thing into a rainwater collection system. So let's check it out. Okay, so here we are. You can see there's my drain, and well, I'll just say, so a lot of rainwater collection systems, they collect water off the roof and divert it from the gutters to the barrel. What we got going here is basically this entire property is, you know, sloped, and so the water runs off the roof line up here, and you can see this is all my part of my manicured garden, if you will, and then over here is all native stuff. And we've got the peach tree here, got another peach tree here, and here we are June 1st, and the peach tree's just starting to come out. And you know what? There's actually going to be some peaches this year, because it looks like these are some little flower buds. So the lucky new owner of this house is going to have some peaches come late summer. But yeah, this is great. So anyway, this is, like I said, this is the manicured side. A lot of roof water comes off here. There's no irrigation in here. It just gets water from the roof line, although there is a subsurface line that goes all the way up around the hot tub, and there's a little lawn area up there that it services. And then these peach trees are on there, these raspberries are on there, and then the end of the line there. But apple trees looking good too. But anyway, all that water comes down, goes into this drain. That drain comes down into this catch basin, and there's a sensor on that pump. When it gets water, it pumps it over into this holding tank, and the holding tank has a sump down in there, and that there is the supply for the irrigation. It comes down around and comes down, and it's really just a traditional 3-zone irrigation. I've got a front yard, a backyard, and then the third zone was going to be a future zone for we were going to go all out and turn this into a greenhouse, a solar powered greenhouse. We just never made it that far. And here's the irrigation controller, just Just like any other sprinkler system, if you can run a sprinkler system, you can run this. The only difference is if you don't have water in your tank, then you can't run your system. Simple as that. The other thing I was going to do was get a camera in so I could monitor my tank levels wirelessly. But anyway, hey, that's the garden. That's the rainwater collection. Stay tuned for the next video, and we're going to show you what the Rocky Mountain Wave Garden looks like when it's really cranking along in the middle of summer. And then also we're going to make another video on this rainwater collection. If anybody is interested in, you know, what it takes to build one of these things, we'll go into some of the nuts and bolts of this thing on another video. Can't thank you enough, Salida. We couldn't have done all this without you. And, you know, a lot of this stuff that we're doing is, you know, cutting edge, forward thinking, problem solving, finding a better way, being water wise, and just being in tune with nature and our community. And it's really been great to be here in the almost 10 years we've been in Salida. Keep following along. This journey will continue back in Wisconsin. Believe it or not, Salida and Wisconsin are both considered Zone 5 in the hardiness. I think the biggest difference is going to be, and it'll be, you know, something I'll adapt to, is the humidity there, and then also the soil conditions. Much richer soil there and a lot more humidity. So plant selection is going to be a little different, but yeah, should be fun. Keep following along. Love all you guys out there, and we'll catch you on the next one.